Hello, YouTube. This is Mark Hill, and I am the Traveling NP. Um, I was sitting in my office. I say my office, you see. I'm on my front porch, sitting in the deck chairs with the view, um, doing Telemed. And my wife and I were discussing about, how much I work and everything. And she gets concerned sometimes that I work too much. But I don't look at it that way. I do work a lot and I work all the time. But it's kind of the price I feel like I have to pay in order to be successful. One determination I've made in the last few weeks is that in order to be successful, you've got to push yourself to the point of being uncomfortable. Uh, Comfort can be a killer when it comes to success in locums or business or any other thing that you do. When you find yourself feeling comfortable, maybe you need to reevaluate where you are in your success. If you haven't paid off all your bills, you are having trouble paying your bills, but you feel that comfort, you probably need to push yourself to a certain level of being uncomfortable. Um, that's not really what I want to talk about today. What I want to talk about today was the increasing interest that I have noticed when people contact me about telemedicine. And so I thought I'd give a little more detail about telemedicine and how, what you have to do to be successful in telemedicine. First of all, telemedicine is going to be the future of medicine. It won't completely take over, the clinic and the hospitals and things of that nature. But as technology increases and people are looking for faster, easier, more convenient ways to take care of their health, um, telemedicine is going to be the way to go. So it's a growing industry, and now's the time to get into it and get established. But it's not easy to get established in telemedicine. It's something that you really have to search and push for, and you have to build your business. I started in telemedicine over 4 years ago, close to 5 years ago now, and I actually got contacted by a company that I still work for, and that's how I kind of broke into it. And then over a year ago, I started really getting interested in doing more telemedicine, and so I started exploring. Now, I'm going to go ahead and tell you, most of the telemedicine positions that I have found are one of two ways. I've either found them by Googling telemedicine jobs for nurse practitioners and going to the Indeed site, and it'll have telemedicine positions on there that you can apply for. Or I have gone through staffing companies like not Bronson, but Barton Associates, Staff Care, Medcare Staffing, Locums Physicians, .com, and they have set me up with telemedicine jobs. Now, it's, and the other thing too is what people don't realize is that you can't be licensed in one state and make telemedicine work for you. I have 7 state licenses, and so I do telemedicine for each one of these states. And so I get telemedicine patients from all these states. Um, if you're licensed in one state and you think that telemedicine is going to be lucrative for you, unless you're living in a state like California or New York, one of your real high, possibly Florida, Texas, maybe, it's unlikely that one state is going to be able to give you all the telemedicine work that you think you want. And the other thing is that I work for multiple telemedicine companies. I work for one, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight. At this point, I work for 8 different telemedicine companies, and I have to keep track of all the work from all 8 of these telemedicine companies, covering all the states that I cover. I typically get up in the morning fairly early, 7:30, 8 o'clock, get some coffee. I start assessing what I've got to do for the day, work. If I don't have any that was left over, a lot of times telemedicine uh, patients will populate into my queues overnight. So in the mornings, whenever and I do telemedicine all the way as far west as Washington, so I don't start calling those people until about 10:30, 11 o'clock in the morning. But in Central Time, I usually go ahead and start calling about 9. And these are people that have been pre-screened. There are people who have, um, you know, asked to be assessed for, any number of things, from orthotic devices to medications to lab work to, yeah, there's just any number of possible possibilities. Oh, I take that back. I now work for 9. I just picked up a new telemedicine job, so 9 telemedicine companies. Um, and I'll usually have a lull in the middle of the day, so I'll have a lot of work relatively early in the day, and so I'll knock that out. And then what I do when I knock all that work out and make all my calls and cover all my companies, then I'll go run errands. I'll do, work around the yard. I'll do some stuff related to my septic tank installation company that we started, and do a lot of legwork. So, I may go to the grocery store, I may go pay bills, I may go pick something up that I need, whatever. And then I usually come back fairly early in the afternoon, and because I'll start getting notifications that work is starting to roll in. So by the early evening, work is starting to pile up, and I have to get on it, or I'm going to be way behind. And it's not uncommon for me to be working telemedicine after I take my little kind of what I call my midday break. I may be working telemedicine 7, 8, 9 o'clock at night, sometimes, and it can be a pain. It's gotten to where I probably spend on an average day of telemedicine, um, 6, 7, 8 hours a day. Now, the beauty of it is that I'm in the comfort of my own home, sitting in my easy chair, or now I'm sitting in a chair on the front porch of my house, enjoying the nice weather here in Mississippi. And, I'm listening to the news or the TV. I'm, make a pot of coffee. I, can stop and eat lunch when I get ready to, but I'm working. My family knows it. Everybody's quiet. They know that I got to work. And my wife, who is my secretary, she handles all my paperwork, my business stuff. She understands the drill, and she understands that this is work time. So, and she's there for me because, like yesterday, for example, I had to do a lot of paperwork for this new telemedicine company. You had to get all your credentialing stuff together. She has to do all that. I don't have time. So she has to get all your licensing together, all your paperwork that you have to send back. So she spent the majority of yesterday getting all my credentialing stuff together and sending it off to this new company, which I'd already been hired and offered the job, but you still have to do all your credentialing stuff. And what it was a company that got bought out by another company that I was already doing contract work with. And since the new company bought the old company out, they wanted to get me re-credentialed with the new company. So yeah, we had to go through all that, and sometimes it's a pain. I had to get several licenses reinstated this last couple months. That's always fairly expensive, getting your license renewed. I will likely get some more licenses in the future. I'm going to probably pick up Nevada at some point, Arizona, higher population states like that are autonomous. So yeah, I mean, there's a lot to it. But the key to making money in telemed is you got to be multi-state licensed. You can't just rely on one state unless you're probably California, in order to make any real money on telemedicine. You've got to get those licenses under your belt, and that can be fairly expensive too. So yeah, keep that in mind. But it just takes time and hard work, and and you almost got to be married to it, because I can tell you one reason I've been successful in telemedicine is that I am kind of married to it. I'm a workaholic. I work 7 days a week. Now, on the weekends, it slacks off, and there's just not a lot going on because most of the telemedicine companies aren't working, but some of them do. So I'll usually work Saturday and Sunday. Sometimes I'll take most of Sunday off because there's just not a lot going on, which is a little bit of a break to me, but I still work on Sunday. And then I fly out. Like I go out 2 weeks or a week and a half from now. I'll fly back up North Dakota, and I'll be gone for 12 days up there pulling locums shifts and doing my telemed at the same time. So you talk about staying busy, and then you're trying to scramble, trying to get all your work done while you're doing your locum stuff. And basically that's after hours, because a lot of times I'm in the clinic and I don't finish until 5 o'clock, but then I'm on call. So then I have to scramble and go finish all my locum stuff late in the evening, which can be daunting at times. So yeah, I mean it never stops, and the reality of it is that I've become comfortable in my uncomfortableness, and for me that means I know I'm being successful and I'm progressing in my business when I'm so busy I'm a little uncomfortable. Now I have a good life. When it comes 8 or 9 o'clock, I sit back and I pour me a little, little adult beverage, and I relax, and family comes over, and we have a good time. I'm in the bed about 10:30 every night, sleep like a baby because I'm exhausted. Um, we eat good, we live good, we make good money, we buy the things we need, we don't have to worry about it. Um, we go the places we want to go because I work hard. My wife works hard. She's part of this. She keeps the family going. She keeps it together. And really, all I do is bring the money in, and she keeps everything else going. So it's a partnership. It's always better if you have somebody. My wife considered going back to work because she was kind of getting bored, and because she had a very successful hair business. She was a hairstylist for years and owned her own salon. And she recently got a call from a ex colleague of her that was just begging her to come back to work. She was so busy, she just needed to come back to work a couple days a week. And him hauled around about it and asked me about it. I said, well, baby, you can do what you want. And finally, she just came to the determination. She said, how am I going to do that? She said, I cannot manage this house and help you manage all this business adventures if I take 2 days a week and go work. And so she finally just had to call him back and say, look, I can't do it. I don't have the time. So, yeah, it's a business. It's a family business, and it's what we do. But it's also a very successful endeavor for all of us. So, yeah, telemedicine is great. Locums is great. Together, they're fantastic. But you're going to work all the time if you really and truly want to be financially successful in these businesses. And look, everybody's not going to want to work like this. They're just not. But let me tell you, life is not bad. I work a lot and I work hard. Got a good life. So keep those things in mind when it comes to telemedicine and incorporating that into your locums. There's several things that you have to do in order to make this thing work. One is you got to be kind of married to it. The other is you have to have multi-state licenses. Those things are imperative if you're going to make this a lucrative endeavor. Anyway, just wanted to give a little heads up, kind of give people an idea of how to do it, what to do, and what I do. Some other people may have some better ideas and do it better than me. I don't know. This is what I do. So, anyway, good to talk to you. This is Mark Hill, the Traveling MP, and I'll see you soon.